looking at the Yayasans involved and the personalities involved, these are very powerful lawmakers, cabinet members, Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister. It makes no sense for the top two, Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, I'm talking about Zahid and Najib, having access to taxpayers' money, having full power at cabinet to fix the welfare problem, to help the poor. These are the highest individual in the cabinet, or among the 222 MPs, to fix the problem. So this is definitely, I think, a tool for them to not want to fix that problem, because they have access to the structure and the system. If they want to fix it, it would have been done on Wednesday at the cabinet meeting. There is no need to form Yayasans, to fix welfare, or even to fix religious issues, okay? The other thing I want to share with you is my experience dealing with Yayasan Wilayah Persekutuan. When I came into Kuala Lumpur and we won and we had to fight the Taman Rimba Kiara case involving Yayasan Wilayah Persekutuan. And we have a new FT minister called Khalid Samad, who inherited Tengku Anand's problem. When I went to Khalid Samad and I said, you have to fix this, you have to reform Yayasan Wilayah Persekutuan, or to do away with it, because you have other avenues to fix the problem, right? The entire purpose of having a Yayasan is to do welfare in Kuala Lumpur. And his reply to me was, if other chief ministers can have their Yayasan, why can't I have a Yayasan in Kuala Lumpur? So just because others are having a Yayasan, it does not mean that you need to have a Yayasan. And that to me is the problem. People see this as, I don't know, a pride, or a crown, the fact that you have a Yayasan doing welfare in your state. I just cannot understand that. And so I have realized in my battle to preserve Taman Rimba Kiara, I received very little support, except from the people themselves who voted me in, and C4. People like Ambiga stood by my side in that 22 months battling Taman Rimba Kiara. And when I went to MECC, I went with C4 and the residents. And MECC looked at me completely toothless. They said that there's nothing we can do about this. That really shattered, I think, my confidence in wanting to preserve green space, wanting to fight corruption, and wanting to convince my own colleagues that you need to reform this. And today, I'm so thankful that when we went to Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal agreed with everything that we've been saying, that there is conflict of interest. There was great sense of vindication, as though somebody finally heard us. And our lawyers were in tears, because we had to fight a huge, it's a monster. I don't even know where else to find help to fight something as simple as this. This is just one example of personal experience dealing with Yayasan Wilayah Persekutuan. I'm glad there were improvements made, I think, in the last 22 months. When we went to the Public Accounts Committee, PAC agreed to take this up. PAC tabled a report and confirmed that there was indeed conflict of interest. So we do see the select committees having a role coming into play, checking on things. So to me, I think that's progress, but we need to do more. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is, in my reading of the PAC report, PAC made it very clear that a Yayasan like Yayasan Wilayah Persekutuan needs to be answerable. If you're going to deal with assets involving land deals for welfare purpose in Kuala Lumpur, PAC said that they need to be turned into a statutory body answerable to Parliament. Right? At the moment, it's a private company and it does not come under the scrutiny of National Audit Department. And I remember when I was fighting this Yayasan Wilayah Persekutuan, the answer given to me is, Don't you want school bags for your residents, poor residents in Sebagai? If you want school bags, if you want uniforms, if you want to help the poor in your area, then you got to support their effort. These deals have to happen because we need money for welfare. But when I turn up in these areas, you find that poor students, they have been given 5 to 6 school bags from various Yayasan and various organizations. All these school bags have their logo printed on it, and there is no dignity for the poor. You don't expect a child to go to school knowing that this person's school bag, the child's school bag, has been donated by Yayasan, and 6 other children, 10 other children having the same school bag with the same logo. It makes no sense. So obviously this is a system meant to feed the ego of those who are giving and not to help those who are receiving. The other thing I've experienced, one of the slides just now, a grant from the Women Ministry, right? I think it was Muhyiddin's Yayasan, or Najib's Yayasan. I remember when I was appointed as Deputy Minister, and I looked at the budget, and there was a fund passed by Parliament for NGOs to apply for welfare purpose. I think it was about 20 million if I'm not mistaken. And so I began to ask my ministry, I said, I want to know who decides on how much to give to all these NGOs. I want to sit in that committee. Because I have so many requests from NGOs asking me to attend their events, and when I turn up, I don't have allocation to give to these NGOs. I've only been given 500,000 as a Deputy Minister to distribute when I attend programs, and welfare, you have so many different welfare NGOs. The answer given to me is, we do not want interference by any politician, so as a Deputy Minister, I could not sit in a committee like that to decide on which NGO receives funding. So it's hard for me to even tell NGOs, I actually don't have a say, even as a Deputy Minister. I have no access to that committee. Okay? So it's entirely controlled by the civil service. And that's why this cartel, civil service, I think, in their good intention to keep away politicians, it also means that people who are elected to come and bring reform have no access to the same system that I'm meant to fix. The second one is, we also have a grant given to government agencies to set up childcare centers. 10 million in 2019, 2020 we had about 30 million. So I said, I want to sit in that committee because I want to decide whether it's a police station or hospital, Kuala Lumpur, which government agency deserves more funding for such a grant. Again, I was told, you cannot sit in this committee. I will tell you, the civil servants then gave me a list of the agencies they approved. So people like me, with every good intention to fix the system, when I entered Putrajaya, I'm not given access for something as simple as that, childcare grant and grant for NGOs.